Good evening, everyone.
Good
We'd
evening.
like to welcome you to our family table. We especially like to welcome those students and parents who are returning hybrid. We want to speak to you this evening to tell you about what our expectations are and hopefully be able to answer as many of your questions as possible at the end. So I would like to get started because there are 5 other people in the room that I really want to introduce to you because they will become very, very important to you when you're in the building. And so I will start with myself. I'm Dr. Adams. I am the principal of Accokeek Academy. Our kindergarten through second grade administrator is Miss Crook. Miss Crook, you want to wave or say something?
Good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Miss Crook. Our third through fifth grade administrator is Miss Morphew. Miss Morphew, say hello.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Thank you, Miss Morphew. Our sixth grade administrator is Dr. Trevin Jeltz. Dr. Jeltz.
Good evening, everyone.
Our seventh grade administrator is Miss Payne. Miss Payne, good evening.
Good evening, parents and students. Welcome.
And finally, our eighth grade administrator is Mr. Donald King. Mr. King.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening.
So we want to get started. I believe I'm sharing my screen. Is that correct, Mr. King?
Yes.
All right. Again, that was our welcome to our family table. So tonight's agenda, we want to start with some celebrations, move to our hybrid model, discuss our number one priority, which is our health and safety, talk a little bit about the instructional schedule. We want to take a tour for kindergarten and for middle school, and then we would like to answer your questions. But we'd like to begin with some celebrations always. And this month we have a lot to be grateful for. Mr. Emerson Carante was our STEM fair coordinator. Excuse me, I understand that it did not pop up. I am not sure why. Give me just a moment.
I can share my screen, Dr. Adams.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Crook.
You have to unshare first. Thank you, Mr. King.
Mine's working now.
Is it working?
Yes.
Okay. Who is driving? Could we go to the next slide, please? Again, the next slide. Thank you very much. Again, my apologies. We want to discuss our celebrations, and at the Prince George's County STEM Fair, we were proud to announce our winners from Accokeek Academy. They have earned this during a difficult time of virtual learning. Sky Simmons took first place for sustainable materials and design. Oni Marshall took first place for mathematics. Sanaya Pearson took second place for behavioral and social sciences. And third place went to Lillian Merrill for Earth, Under Earth, and Environmental Science. In addition to those earned winners, we received special awards during the Prince George's County STEM Fair. And the first one was from the Association of Women Geoscientists. Lillian Merrill took first place. Oni Marshall won first place for Educational Systems Federal Credit Union Award. The Office of Naval Research Award third place went to Aspen Egan. Lillian Merrill received a Merit Award from the Friends of Jug Bay. And we have 2 national competition invitees who Miss Oni Marshall and Sky Simmons. Let's give them a round of applause. We are extremely proud of them. And all of you know National History Day. As you may or may not know, for the last 6 years, it has been a required project for Accokeek Academy in grades 6 through 8. And coordinating our National History Day is our social studies coordinator, Mr. Arun Parakin. And we had a lot to celebrate with National History Day this year. Even though it was virtual, our kids did outstanding. Group documentary went to first place, went to Ellis and Lillian Merrill. Second place went to Aspen Egan and Warden Jelani. And our took second place under individual documentary, Yahara Vasquez. First place under group exhibit was Ava Crumpley and Arasia IUB. Our group website, first place was taken by Tahira Long and Zaina Castro. Our individual website was Zaina Castro, and the historical paper category went first place to Nia Scott. We are extremely proud of each of them. And Mr. Parakin would like me to note that several of our former students took first, second, and third place in the high school category. Congratulations to them. Our other celebration coming up tomorrow is for our students who earn good behavior. They were here in attendance, and of course they completed their work. And so our positive behavior incentive is movie day, and you can see the different movies that will be offered for the various grade levels. Congratulations all. Finally, our faith-based partner, Victory Community Church, will be holding on Saturday, April 3rd, an extravaganza. And it's a drive-through. They will be giving away free Easter egg hunt kits, crafts, and much more. So we invite you to join them on April the 3rd in our parking lot. So thank you. All right, we're going to go into the hybrid model. So I know many of you have heard the word hybrid. That's because it's in the cars. But for cars, it's gas and electric. And for education, it's virtual and in person. And our hybrid model will be as follows. So if your last name is between A and J, begins with the letters between A and J, you will attend school on Monday and Tuesday. If your last name begins with K through Z, you will attend school on Thursday and Friday. All other days, you will be virtual just like you are now. So again, you will only attend school on those 2 days based on your last name. And the rest of the time you will be virtual, or as we like to say, asynchronous lessons for Wednesday possibly. So there is no attendance to school on Wednesdays, and that is due to cleaning between each group or each cohort of students. And just for informational purposes, there will be no staff or teachers there on Wednesday either. So please keep this in mind. Ladies and gentlemen, our #1 priority is our health and our safety. And while we welcome you back to school, I want you to know that this is a serious proposition, and the expectation of all is to look out for one another. And so parents, I ask you right now tonight to watch out for these symptoms in your child before you allow them to come to school, whether they're coming by bus transportation or whether they're coming in your car. And these symptoms, we know that COVID has a wide range of symptoms, but these particular symptoms, we need to be aware of every single morning. So if your child has fever, or if your child has chills, a cough, a shortness of the breath, or difficulty breathing, fatigue, muscle aches, body aches, headache, a loss of taste or smell, a sore throat or congestion or runny nose, nausea or vomiting or diarrhea. Two or more of these symptoms, you have got to keep your child at home. This is for your child's safety. This is for the safety of other children and the safety of our teachers and staff as well. We also asked our teachers to do the same. But parents, we really are leaving this onus to you and ask that you do that. Because at the end of the day, if these symptoms are noticed in your child, you will receive a phone call to pick them up within 1 hour. And that 1 hour is important, again, for the health and safety of all of us. So once you get to school, how do you protect yourself and others? Our nurses like to say the 3 W's: wear, wash, and watch. You have to wear that mask at all times. It takes a while to get used to that, ladies and gentlemen, but you have to wear the mask at all times. Washing your hands frequently is important. We say every 2 hours. Teachers and administrators will have a schedule of hand washing times. Watch your distance. No one is to be closer than 6 feet. So you must maintain 6 feet distance at all times from every person. And so when I say that, that includes sitting in the classroom, your chairs are 6 feet apart. Sitting in the cafeteria, your chairs are 6 feet apart. In the hallways, you must stand 6 feet apart. When you get off the bus, you must stand outside 6 feet apart. That is an important factor for all of us. So we have to avoid close contact, and we'll get into a little more details with Ms. Crook on close contact. But by definition, close contact is being within that 6 feet parameter of an infected person for accumulation of 15 minutes in one day. So it's very, very important that we do not have close contact with one another. Teachers will wear a face mask and a shield at all times with students present. So as you can tell, I am very serious about health and safety being our #1 priority. And so I want to make sure that we all understand that these things will be enforced to the fullest, meaning that if in fact students decide that they don't want to wear a mask, or they don't want to social distance, or they want to hug one another, greet one another closely, none of those things will be acceptable. And we will insist on your child going back virtual, because again, our health and our safety is our #1 priority. So keep in mind, students will not change classes during hybrid learning. The only class that they will actually physically walk to will be creative arts and specials. But other than that, they will be in the same classroom all day in that same seat. And teachers will rotate to them. This is important because we have to have a good tracing plan in case something happens. I mentioned hand washing, that will be every 2 hours. Hand sanitizer is available throughout the building, approximately every 50 feet. You must use that hand sanitizer upon entering the building and throughout the day. Keep in mind that social distancing must be adhered to when we go to the restroom, and therefore there are only 3 students in the restroom at one time. We will not share any materials with one another, and we would like for your whatever you bring to be in your own plastic bag or book bag, because there will be no use of lockers and cubbies because of the closeness to one another. This would be in violation of social distancing. So I want to talk about a couple more things as it relates to health and safety, because this is seriously important to making hybrid learning a success. I need to speak to those parents who have received letters with regard to student immunizations not being up to date. Until those immunizations are current, those students cannot return to hybrid learning in the building. In addition to that, the CDC, as well as the state of Maryland, has issued the following information for spring break, and that is that if you travel for spring break, as long as you travel within DC, Delaware, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia, there is no requirements. But if you travel out of state to any other state, while you do not have to have a COVID test, you do have to quarantine for 10 days before you can return to hybrid learning. Within 3 to 5 days, you are encouraged to get COVID testing, and then you have a 7-day quarantine. If negative, you still must have a 7-day quarantine because of the possibility of late onset of COVID. If positive, you have to isolate and quarantine for 14 days. So the same thing applies for international travel with, but you have to be COVID tested if you are traveling internationally. And it is also advised, particularly by the CDC, based on what they have researched just thus far, that if you travel out of state or internationally, that you isolate 14 days from those persons that are considered at high risk. So those would be people with underlying circumstances such as diabetes, high blood pressure, those type of things, because they are considered at high risk. So please, ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind these restrictions associated with returning to hybrid learning if you plan to travel over spring break. So at this time, I want you to know that we have based our planning on the Prince George's County Reopening Operations Plan, which you see below. We won't go into those details, but it is also found on the PGCPS website. So at this time, I am going to turn over this part of the meeting to our Assistant Principal Crook. And Ms. Crook, do you want to begin speaking, or would you like to start the video?
We can do the video first.
Okay, are you doing it, or Mr. King? It's if you click on the eagle above elementary.
Mr. King, there isn't any sound.
Want to stop it, Mr. King, and start over? Mr. King, could you stop the video?
All right, so I'll go ahead and start talking while Mr. King gets the video together.
Thank you, Ms. Crook.
So parents, I'm going to specifically, Mr. King, we can wait for the video until after I'm finished. I'm going to speak specifically in regards to kindergarten through second grade. I'm going to focus a lot tonight on kindergarten. And I do that, parents, because the beginning of the school year for kindergartners is very scary. That's the beginning of the school year. They're coming to a strange place. You know, they've normally been at home or with their grandparents, maybe in daycare. And so coming to a huge school with a lot of people is very scary. Well, we didn't give students that opportunity this year, unfortunately, because of COVID. So our kindergartners have been in school virtually, and they have still been home in the comfort of their own home with people that they are familiar with. And on April 8th, our kindergartners are, now it's like the beginning of the school year all over again. So there's some things that I need for you to do, parents. This is your homework, okay? I need for you to start working and talking to your students in regards to their responsibilities when they come to school. So the teacher is there, yes, and I saw a few questions in the chat in regards to the interaction between the teachers and the students. This is a reminder, at all times, teachers and students are keeping 6 feet social distancing. Now, does that mean if your child needs immediate help that they're not going to be helped? Absolutely not. The staff will still be there to help, but we are going to keep social distancing as much as we can. So that means for our little ones, they have to be able to take the Chromebooks out of their book bags, place them on their desks, turn them on, log in. So parents, if you are currently doing that for your student, I need you to start practicing with them now, because they need to know how to log in on their Chromebook on their own. Now, this is a big one. When our little ones go to the bathroom, and I know all my other APs and Dr. Adams, they're laughing at me because they have older students, but for my babies, parents, some of them have some difficulties still when they go to the restroom. So parents, I need you to please practice with your students, making sure they can button and unbutton their pants. They can put their belt back together. That's very important because teachers are not going to be able to assist with that. So that's your homework, parents, making sure that your child is responsible and can be responsible for their own belongings when they're in the bathroom. Also the face mask. So we had some face mask days. Some students were able to wear their face mask all day. Some students were not. This is very important. I cannot have students taking their mask off, swinging it around, playing with it, trying to swap and share masks. So please start talking to your child now about their responsibility. That's that big word again, their responsibility in regards to their face mask, making sure they keep their own face mask and that they keep it on at all times. The only time students will be able to take their face mask off is when we're at lunch and they're eating. Right after lunch, they're putting their face mask right back on. All right, so Mr. King, you can go ahead and play the video. And then afterwards, after the family table, parents, if you still have questions in regards to kindergarten through second grade, please let me know.
Hey guys, welcome to Academic Academy. Kindergartners, we are so excited to have you. This is a video to demonstrate, guys, what it's going to look like when you return to school. We're going to start with the buses. So if you are a bus rider, we're going to demonstrate for you what it's going to look like when you're on the bus and you arrive at school. Follow me. All right, guys, as you can see, you're going to sit 6 feet apart. Your classmate is going to be diagonal to you. And you're sitting with your face mask on. It's very important, guys, that you remember to keep your face mask on at all times. Now, we're going to get off the bus. We're going to start one student at a time. To stand on your 6 feet marker. Because remember, we are practicing social distancing. Now, we're going to be our kindergarten superheroes. So you make sure you put your arms out and we're spaced out. All right, guys, that's what it looks like if you are riding the bus. After you get off the bus and you stand on your 6 feet marker, now we're gonna walk into school. Here we go. Follow me. All right, guys. Now, if your mom and dad's bringing you to school in the morning, this is where you're going to enter. So as your mom and dad drives up along the sidewalk, you're gonna stop, parents. And parents, this is a reminder, you are going to remain in your car. Your child is going to exit from the car. As they exit, they're going to line up on their 6 feet marker. Then we're going to walk into the building. Remember, as we are walking, students, mask stays on. And you're still practicing social distancing. All right, one student at a time. And you're going to receive your hand sanitizer. And we want to make sure that when we receive our hand sanitizer, we're going to rub it in all over our hands. One student at a time. All right, now we're going to enter the building. As you enter the building, students, whether you are a car rider or a bus rider, you're going to pick up breakfast. You're going to take your bag breakfast. You're going to walk to your class and you're going to eat your breakfast in the classroom. All right, here we go, guys. We are in the kindergarten hallway. So we're going to walk in one student at a time. And you'll notice that we have some signage on the floor, and it says, please practice 6 feet social distancing. Now, as you come in, this is the hallway where your classes are held. So we have Miss Anera's class. Okay, let's walk in. Now, as you walk into your classroom, students, you're sitting 6 feet apart. You're going to wait for your teacher to assign your desk. Every student has their own space. Desks are 6 feet apart. Again, you'll notice every student is still wearing their mask. We have to remember, students, please do not take your mask off at any time when you're in the school building.
When you enter the classroom, boys and girls, you're going to come in, find your name and your basket. You're going to take out your iPad, zip your book bag back up, and put it in the basket. If you have a jacket or a lunchbox, you're going to put it in the basket also. Inside your cubby container, you already have your pencils and crayons and whiteboard marker, your composition book, and your whiteboards. You don't need to bring any supplies to school. We are good to go.
All right, guys, now we're going to talk about bathroom etiquette. Luckily for you, you have a bathroom in your classroom, so let's go. All right, in the bathroom, when you come in, you want to make sure that we are using the toilet, guys. We're not putting anything on the floor. After you use the toilet, you want to make sure that you come over to the sink and wash your hands. So you're going to get your soap. You're going to rub the soap on your hands and place it underneath the water. Now, as you are washing your hands, we're going to do the ABC song, or we're going to count to 20. All right? So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, and 20. Now, we're going to dry off our hands. After we dry our hands, we're going to take our paper towel. We're going to open the door. We're going to take our paper towel now and put it in the trash can. All right, guys, now it's time for lunch. As you can see, we're lined up against the wall. We're still practicing social distancing. There are 6 tiles in between you and your classmate. Also remember, we still have on our mask. Now we're gonna walk into the cafeteria. All right, now we're walking in. We're still practicing social distancing. And we're gonna sit one table at a time. When you come into the cafeteria, you will already have a bag lunch sitting on the table waiting for you. You will have assigned seats. So the table that you sit at is the table that you're going to sit at every day. And that is lunch. Now, after lunch, you're going to line up, one student at a time. And again, mask on, lunch is over, and we're practicing social distancing. Again, you're going to receive hand sanitizer after lunch. And then we're going to go outside for recess. Students, we're so excited to see you on April 8th. Can't wait to see you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Crook. We definitely enjoyed that, and we enjoyed the tour. I hope that everyone paid attention to your directions because they were seriously important. Thank you. At this time, we're going to move to middle school. Please, 4th and 5th grade students pay particular attention to what we have to show you from a middle school perspective, but also for upper elementary. So, Dr. Jelks, do you want to say a few words first, or are we going to go straight to the video?
We can go straight to the video.
Thank you. Mr. King?
Good morning. Welcome to Accokeek Academy. My name is Dr. Trevin Jelks, your 6th grade assistant principal. What we'll be doing today is we'll be taking a tour of Accokeek Academy. This is the route here in this area. If you are a car rider, you will be dropped off of Livingston Road right here in this entrance. But either way, when you come in the building, you will follow this route that I'm about to share with you now. We'll be entering the gym doors. We'll follow this route in the morning and in the afternoon. Okay, now this is our hallway in front of the gym. We will make a right. And we'll make a left on this hallway. This is where our creative arts classes are. This is Miss Stein, computer science. As you see, we have lockers. During this school year, we will not be using lockers. We're going to proceed. On our right, this is Mr. Bender's class. That's a music teacher's class. Now, this is very important. You will make a left. This is the 6th grade hallway. We're going to walk down the 6th grade hallway. On my left, this is the entrance to the gym. On my right, this is Miss Rivers' class. She is consumer science. Some of you have probably had her for consumer science. We're proceeding down 6th grade hallway. It's a long hallway. Okay, we're proceeding down 6th grade hallway. And as you're into the 6th grade hallway, if you look at the top, you say 6th grade Eagle's Nest. It's like we have our own little island. Okay, on my right, this is Mr. Goforth's math class. And also, this is Mr. Goforth's class. Mr. Goforth. And on my right here, this is Miss Moulton. Then we also have Miss Dockett's class. This is Miss Dockett's class also. And Mr. Reader and Miss Smith's class. And with Miss Dockett and Miss Dell McPherson. Okay, as we walk, Miss Moulton has 2 doors, so this is another door for Miss Moulton. Also, we have Miss Lagon. She's our health educator. This is her class. We're still on the 6th grade hallway as we're walking. On your left, this is Mr. Long, our art teacher. This is our art class. Okay. And as we proceed, we have the girls' 6th grade bathroom, and we have the boys' 6th grade bathroom. And also, on my left-hand side, this is Dr. Jokes' office. And you're welcome to come and see me at times. You may have some concerns, but this is my office. Now, when we come to the end of the 6th grade hall, we're going to make a right. The first class on my right is Miss Purtle. She's our language arts teacher. This is Miss Purtle, language arts teacher. And this is McEna's class. This is our social studies teacher. Okay, we're going to proceed down the hallway. And on my left, this is Miss O'Toole, 6th grade science. This is Miss O'Toole's classroom, 6th grade science. Okay. And now, on my right, we have Miss Avens. Miss Avens, our science teacher. With large classroom. Our science class is a nice size classroom. Okay, I'm back in my office. Now we're going to go visit some other creative arts classes. So at my office, you'll make a left, and we're going to walk. And remember, when I made a right, we had the science and language arts, but I'm making a left. And we're going to proceed walking down the hallway. And the first creative arts class that we're going to see is the Media Center, Miss Brackett's class. And this is our 8th grade, 7th. This is a combination of 7th and 8th grade classes in this hallway. As you can see, the hallways are long. Okay. Now, we have arrived to the Media Center. On the right, I'm going to enter the Media Center. As you see, we have a magnificent large Media Center. Ms. Brackett is our media teacher. Okay, we're going to exit the Media Center and we're going to proceed to make a right. And we're going to go visit the guidance counselor suite. We get to see our 6th grade counselor, Miss Taylor. But you will probably have the opportunity to meet other counselors, 6 through 8. Let's see, we're entering the guidance suite. This is Miss Smith, our guidance registrar. Okay. Okay, this is Miss Davis. Miss Davis, this is our 7th grade professional counselor. This is Miss Tilda, our 6th grade professional counselor. And here she is.
Hello, how's it going?
Okay, hello. And also, this is our 8th grade professional counselor, Miss Wright. Okay, and we have another office for our speech pathologist who's in there. And this is our conference area. Just a reminder, we are practicing social distances, and also we must wear our mask at all times. Now we're going to head down to the cafeteria. By the way, this is our main office. You see our main office. And Miss Sims, one of the secretaries, is in the main office. And this is Miss Ashton, our student support person. This is her office. This is Miss Ashton.
Hi, everyone.
Okay. And this is Miss Williams, the nurse's office. Okay. We're walking down the hallway towards the cafeteria. As you can see, this is our courtyard on the right-hand side. Okay, we're entering our cafeteria. This is our cafeteria. It's a nice sized cafeteria. On my right, you'll see the stage. And here's the kitchen. In the back, we're not using water fountains. We are using water bottles. The water fountains are covered. Okay. Let's see. We're going to somewhat see what the kitchen looks like. As you see, if you were. Okay, just a reminder, breakfast, lunch, and supper are free just for this school year. And also just a reminder, another reminder, make sure your Chromebooks when coming to the school are fully charged and have your cords, your charge cords. It's very important. Again, breakfast, lunch, and supper are free just for this school year. And make sure you bring your charged Chromebooks and your cords. We have additional announcements. There is no uniform this school year. Must follow dress code that is posted on Academic Academy website. No pajamas, no hats, scarves, and other headdress, except for religious purposes only. No tank tops, no bare midriffs, meaning the top should cover below all the way to your waistline. Basically, no skin should be seen. Pants must be secured at the waist. Shoes must be flat-soled and fully enclosed. No flip-flops, Crocs, or slippers. If you need to see further information on the dress code policy, look on Academic Academy website. It is posted. Thank you. Just a reminder, sixth grade scholars, when you're entering the building in the morning, all cell phones need to be turned off. Again, when you enter the building in the morning, please make sure that you turn your cell phones off. Thank you. If you have band, of course, right near cafeteria, we'll make a right. And then you'll make a left. We're going to go visit those classrooms. And just a reminder, make sure you're always 6 feet apart and please wear your face mask. Course is on the right-hand side, and you will use this first door. This is the magnificent Dr. Richards. She is our course teacher, and look at this large course room.
Hold on. Let me mask it
Yes.
up. Mask it up. We back to do some awesome things.
yes.
Let's not do this, 'cause we know Academic is the best. We back to do some awesome things, 'cause we know Academic is the best. Hey!
All right, Dr. Richards. Yes. Okay, across the hallway is Miss Whitfield, our instrumental music teacher. This is also a large room. Here's Miss Whitfield, our instrumental teacher. Thank you, Miss Whitfield. Yes. Okay, this is our next announcement. This announcement is for 5th grade, all 5th grade, 4th graders who have Miss Fleming and Miss Charter. You will walk up this ramp in the morning time from the bus lot. And you welcome to our lovely gym at Academic Academy Upper Campus. Just a reminder, when you enter the building in the morning, you will report to your homeroom class and you will remain there all day except for your creative arts and your lunchtime. Again, when you enter the building in the morning time, just a reminder, you report to your homeroom class, and also you will remain there at that time all day except for creative arts and lunch. Thank you for joining me today on this tour for 6th grade orientation. I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day.
Thank you, Dr. Jelks. We appreciate that video very much. Mr. King, if you could put the slides back up. I hope our 4th and 5th graders paid attention to that entry on the ramp. And while Mr. King's getting that up, Ms. Morphew, do you have anything you want to add for those 4th and 5th graders?
Yes, thank you. So 4th and 5th grade, as you know, parents, 4th and 5th grade start with specials. So those students entering through the ramp, I will have for the first couple weeks, the 5th grade teachers will be meeting the students up there at the hall to assist them in finding their specials classes. I know Dr. Jelks had gone through and showed where Dr. Richards' room was and Miss Whitfield's room was way back behind the cafeteria. However, for our purposes, their classrooms will be closer to that entrance where the ramp is. So they will not have to travel that far. All their specials will be in close proximity to that ramp. So we have made it easy for them to locate their classroom. They will they'll grab their breakfast when they get up the ramp. They will have their breakfast in their special classes, and then they will start their specials at 9:15. We thought that was easier than going to their homeroom class and then traveling to specials. And then their teachers will pick them up and walk them to their class in the lodge for 5th grade. Miss Trotter and Miss Flemings is right there on the left-hand side. As soon as they come up the ramp, that is where their classroom is. That is the reason they are walking up that ramp, so they know where to go. For 4th grade, if you have PE on that particular day for specials, they will report to their classroom, and Miss Coach P will come to them and teach them PE from that classroom. If it's a gorgeous day, temperatures permitting, most likely she will take them outside, but they will go to their classroom. All other specials for 4th grade will go to their special classrooms, and the same would apply. However, the remainder 4th grade classes will come up through the by the cafeteria door where parent pickup was, or for those parents that may be familiar with parent pickup where the students exited, that's where those 4th grade students will be entering the building. And Miss St. Clair, there will be an adult there. I will have the special schedule listed to assist those students to know what day they go and where they go for the particular day. I will have everything posted for them, so they will have no difficulty figuring out where they need to go on each particular day. And I will be at the ramp for 5th grade in those 2 4th grade classes. So that will be my post every day. But if you have any questions in regards to that, I would be more than happy to assist you. My 3rd graders are going to be entering through the community door, and they will be going straight up to their classroom on the 2nd floor.
Thank you, Ms. Morphew.
Thank you.
We put particular emphasis on kindergarten and 6th grade because those students, this will be their very first time in the building. So we wanted to make sure that they had an opportunity to see the school and make it a little easier for them when they're entering for the first time. We want to make it clear that the student rights and responsibility handbook that has been given every year, those responsibilities are still in place. However, we and the school system have added additional responsibilities that is fully complying to the safety protocols. We're asking parents again to take temperature and check for those other symptoms. And if they have any of those symptoms, after they come to school, we will be calling parents to pick up their student. Car riders, you can arrive, but not before 8:45 in the morning. And we will begin a staggered pickup in the evening because we want to maintain social distancing, and we realize it's going to take a little longer in the evening. So we will begin dismissal at 3:15. And car riders can be picked up at 3:15. We ask that you do not arrive any later than 3:45 to pick up your child. Making it very important because it takes planning every day. And that planning is so important to your safety. So come to school on your correct day. If you come to school on an incorrect day, your parents will be contacted to pick you up. The other one is following the rules of the bus. If in fact you're taking Prince George's County buses, there will be some protocol to follow. Ms. Crook gave you a great deal of information as she got on the bus during her video, and that is super important for your safety. Also, bringing your fully charged Chromebook or iPad along with your charger is also important each day. Students will be marked present if for any reason you cannot come to school, but you do come to class virtually, you will be marked present. So you always have that option to be at home and attend school virtually. So I wanted you to be aware that we have had a reopening committee at Accokeek that has been working for the last 6 weeks. And that committee is made up of every department in the school, our school nurses, our teachers, our cafeteria staff representatives, representatives from our custodial team, all have come together to put this reopening plan into action. And so this is not something that we just thought of. This is something that we've worked hard on to make happen. Our psychologists and counselors have been around during virtual learning, and they will definitely be around during hybrid. So I just wanted you to know that this has been an important process for us at Academic Academy. All right, I am going to turn over the final minutes to Ms. Crook and Ms. Payne as they point out some important features of our hybrid guide for parents and guardians. Ms. Crook and Ms. Payne.
Thank you, Dr. Adams. Mr. King, are you able to bring up the hybrid guide? All right, well, while we're waiting for the hybrid guide to come up, the hybrid guide will also be on our website as well as the videos. Many of the questions that our families have been asking, thank you, Mr. King, will be in the hybrid guide. And so we're going to go over, we're going to highlight a few items that areas that were not discussed in the videos or Dr. Adams did not cover. So prior to student arrival, first and foremost, parents, please make sure you do a health check, a daily health check with your child before coming to school. If your child has a temperature of 100.4 degrees or higher, or if your child has any of the symptoms related to the symptoms of coronavirus, you must keep your child at home. You would then go onto the absent note form, which is found on our website, and click the link and submit it from there. If your child is feeling well enough, they can absolutely participate in class virtually. You can keep scrolling down, Mr. King. Okay, please stop there. Ms. Crook. You're on mute, Ms. Crook.
Dr. Adams mentioned the COVID room. So the COVID care room is going to be for any students that get sick during the day, or parents, if you send them to school and they are sick, once they arrive at school, they will go in the COVID care room. Now, this COVID care room is set up so that parents that you know, students are going to be just 6 feet distance. Because I know there were some concerns. A few parents were asking if my child is in the room with another child that is sick, what if my child does not have COVID and that student does have COVID? So I know that is a concern, but as Dr. Adams stated, we are practicing safety first. So even in the COVID care room, students are going to be separated. There are 3 different desk and seated areas where students will be able to sit. And we have a cot where students will be able to lay down. Our nurses are going to cover the COVID care room. And so that room will also be cleaned. Every time a student enters that room and they're treated in that room is going to be cleaned. You keep scrolling down.
All righty. So the standard protocol for notification of probable or confirmed cases of COVID-19. And I'm going to read each bullet so that way we have complete clarity. The school will provide written notification to staff or families who have had a possible exposure to anyone with COVID-like illness symptoms or a positive case of COVID-19. Students with COVID-19 symptoms such as a fever, cough, or shortness of breath at school will be immediately separated from others and they will go to the care room. Students who test positive for COVID-19 must stay home until cleared by the primary care provider and have tested negative. that information will have to be provided to the school and definitely school nurses before they can come back into the building. And then students who have had close contact with the person diagnosed with COVID-19 must stay home, self-monitor for symptoms, and follow CDC guidance if symptoms develop.
All right, Mr. King, start right there, classroom configuration. We have a max of 15 students. We will not have more than 15 students in any classroom. The desk and the seats, as you saw in the video, are going to be 6 feet apart. Unfortunately, there's no small groups or carpet instruction for kindergarten through 5th grade. All right, keep scrolling, Mr. King. And stop at playground procedures. So kindergarten through 5th grade will have recess. That'll be a time for them to get a break. We're not, I know some parents were asking if my child is outside, can they take their mask off? We are still asking that everyone keep their mask on even when they're outside and they're at recess. Teachers are putting together bags and toys and things that the students can play with during recess. They will have their own individual bags. We're gonna do activities, group activities together where students are spaced out, but there will not be activities where students are coming in close contact with each other and, for example, playing on the recess equipment. The recess equipment will be closed off. Students will not be allowed to play on that recess equipment.
Ms. Crook, can I ask you a question? Are students able to bring their own toys during recess?
Yes, they can. Now, if they're gonna bring something for recess, it's gonna stay at school. So we're not allowing them to bring things back and forth.
Okay, thank you. Student materials. So student materials, during the hybrid model, students will not share any materials. Students enrolled in band and orchestra will check out musical instruments from their school's instrumental teacher. Textbooks are not needed. Teachers and students will have digital access to textbooks for their assigned core courses through Clever. Students in grades 1 through 8 should bring the following: their school issued electronic device charger, and ensure that that device is fully charged upon entering the building. They should bring at least 1 journal, some pens, pencils, crayons, colored pencils, an extra face mask, although teachers will have some, but please, place an extra face mask in your child's bag, hand sanitizer and wipes, not mandatory, but extremely helpful, and a water bottle. That's fine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked about dress code.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, so meal service for hybrid model. All food items will be prepackaged in single serve units. Meals will be served and eaten in the classroom and cafeteria. So breakfast will be eaten in the classrooms and lunch will be eaten in the cafeteria. That is for all grade levels. Students participating in hybrid learning will be offered breakfast, lunch, and supper at the end of the day. Breakfast and lunch, and then supper at the end of the day to no cost for students. Take-home meals will be available and offered to students for the days they are not on campus. So the take-home meals will consist of all 3. Is that correct, Dr. Adams?
That's correct.
Okay. And then that concludes our transportation. So I did see a couple of questions in regards to transportation. As of this time, we do not have the bus information. Transportation is working on that. Tomorrow is a town hall with transportation at the helm, explaining what their process and what their protocols are going to be and how information will be provided. So please listen out for a call from the school system. Also, an email will be sent tomorrow morning with the link, the telephone number, just in case you do not receive a phone call from the county. And thank you. That's all we have at this time.
All right. Do we have any questions in the chat that need to be answered, Ms. Payne?
All righty. Ms. Morphew, how are you doing?
I'm
some-
working on it. Okay.
Do we have any that we can answer that you don't have to type in, Ms. Morphew?
So I have a student who's currently using her own computer, and will she be able to use a school issued Chromebook? So the answer would be yes, we can give her a school issued Chromebook, correct, Dr. Adams?
Yes, because personal devices will not be allowed unless it's a Chromebook, a personal Chromebook. Otherwise, it cannot go on the network.
One question that came up. So I had two parents ask about medication for their students, for their children. So I did ask them to send Nurse Lori or Nurse Williams an email so they can firm up how that would be distributed.
Well, it'll be the same as it has been in the past. You will have to have a prescription and a doctor's order that requires the nurse to dispense that medication. And so without those written instructions, we cannot dispense any medication.
Okay, I have questions. Will a menu be provided for the parents in regards to lunch?
Yes. It is my understanding that they will provide a monthly menu just like they have done in the past, so that that will be made available. And when it is, we'll post it on our website, but I'm sure that PGCPS will also post it on the main website.
What will happen if a student's Chromebook dies during the day?
Well, that's one of the reasons we want you to bring the charger, because it is a possibility that it will die during the day. We have carts within every classroom, which will allow them to recharge their Chromebook.
Another question, what happened to the students' school supplies from last year?
I'm not following the question.
I guess my one, Mr. Woodward, can you elaborate on your question? I guess they had supplies from last year because we left.
Oh, well, during the time, which we always do, the school was cleaned thoroughly. And that was important because, as you all know, there were lots of food items left in lockers and in desks. And those things we had to dispose of that to keep our friendly critters out of the building.
Okay, so chewing gum, that's never.
Chewing gum is particularly off limits right now because chewing gum carries so many germs. And also, in addition to that, we have always had problems with students disposing of gum properly.
Yeah, that's always been a non-negotiable at Academic Academy. Another question, will students be able to use their personal mobile devices during recess?
No. The hybrid model is intended to be school. And school, we do not allow students to use their cell phones during school hours. So the answer is no.
If there isn't a guardian available to pick up their child, do they stay in the COVID room?
Well, you have until a deadline because we have to be out of the building in order for custodians to do what they need to do at the end of the day. And so if a guardian is not available to pick up the child and they know that child should be left at home for virtual learning. There should be no time where you know that you're not going to be able to pick up your child because we don't have the manpower to wait late after normal business hours.
Can a student go back and forth from a car rider to a bus rider, or should it stay consistent?
So you would have had to sign up for transportation to be assigned a bus at this time. So if you did not sign up for bus transportation, you won't be assigned a stop because of the number of students who are returning. We've got to make sure that you've signed up for transportation. So if you have not signed up yet, I would say you're going to have to be a car rider until such time you can get processed through the system.
Mm-hmm. Do the students have to bring their hotspots to school?
So if they have a Prince George's County issued hotspot, they should, if they're not using it, we would like all of those hotspots back, because we do have families that are in need of hotspots. So if you're not using it, then please return it. If you are using it daily, then of course you may keep it. But if you're not, please do return it to the school, because other families are in need of those hotspots. If the question is that you need a hotspot in the school, the answer to that is no.
Can middle school children bring iPads?
So iPads will not go on to the network.
So my student has a
Unless they're Prince George's County issued, like kindergarten iPads.
My student has a school issue Chromebook, but it no longer works. So my child has been using my personal computer for school. Will she be able to get a new device?
So she will have to return the old device in order to receive a new device. Yes.
Will I have to sit with my brother on the bus, or will we be 6 feet apart as well?
So while we don't control what goes on the bus itself, that's the jurisdiction of the bus driver. One of the things that is possible are for siblings to sit together. But of course, the bus driver has to get verification from the school that they are in fact siblings.
Do instruments stay at school?
They do not.
Okay. It says, yes, that is correct, Mr. Padilla. I think the question is that transportation sign up was via the survey for return to school.
Yes, it was.
Will there be IT support available? The Chromebook has had a horrible experience, so we have to use our personal laptop.
Okay, so once Chromebooks come back into the building, our IT person has to determine whether this was abuse of the device. If in fact it was abuse of the device, there is a $30 charge for which we will have to collect to receive a new device. It's very expensive process, as you can imagine, the number of Chromebooks that we have out.
Mm-hmm. What types of toys are permitted during recess?
So those things that won't cause another child to have to be involved, right? So if they have a jump rope, it shouldn't be a jump rope for 4 people. It should be a personal jump rope, as an example.
All righty. Parents, students, any more questions? That's it.
Dr. Adams, if they emailed Academy tech support and put that information in there about those Chromebooks that are not working properly, we would be able to reach those people a lot quicker and get appointments for them to get those looked at in a quicker manner if they were to do that.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Morphew. That is a great idea, so that you're not waiting until you return into the building to say that your Chromebook isn't working. That would give more time for us to do that processing, and then the child would not have to wait.
And I did include that in the chat, the ACCOK.techsupport@pgcps.org.
Yes, please write that down for anyone that is having and experiencing any problems with their PGCPS issued device.
Mm-hmm. And it's also located on our website as well on the left-hand side. Question, does spring break travel to Virginia Beach require any quarantine period / COVID testing upon reopening of schools?
No, the quarantine and the testing refers to those states that I did not mention. So DC, Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. If you're traveling to those states, there is no need for COVID testing. Okay. But all other states, there is.
That's it.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you joining us this evening. I appreciate my talented team of administrators for always being prepared and ready. I thank you all. I thank the teachers that are in the audience that have assisted with questions. And I appreciate our nurses who have been in the audience, and I see that they have answered a number of questions this evening. I thank you. We are a school ready for this hybrid learning, but I do want to emphasize before we go that safety is our #1 priority. And so any violations of safety protocols will be dealt with immediately. And for those students who cannot follow those protocols, we will ask that they return to virtual learning. So thank you so much for your attention this evening. We appreciate you. We know that our children are learning in the virtual environment. So there's a lot of good things going on at Accokeek. So have a great evening and a great spring break on purpose.